All right, how we're doing reflections, and for today's video, we're going to make it simple. We are talking about the actor known as Drake, and this is why we have a 44 PowerPoint presentation on the actor and how the theatric keeps on happening, how it remains consistent. And I've noticed the reoccurring knowing of what the system portrays themselves to be whenever you include Drake into the conversation and your conversation in your life. And long story short, I was put on to Drake when I was 11 years old. And when I noticed that, and just the song Easy to Please, and it was like when he was, or when she was. It was in like October, November, but the motherfucker's standing and there's like trees and shit, or it's like fall. And that was when I noticed that, but I didn't learn about all the things that were happening or transpiring in the industry because around that time it was, mind you, 17 years ago. So people were talking about what the industry is doing to kids, what it's doing to the genetics of kids, and how ending up becoming adults that are deceiving you. So if you're not aware of the spell within music, then you are under its own hypnosis. And if you're not aware of the hypnosis, then you won't be able to understand what you're listening to. That's exactly why their words can make you think differently of yourself if you are not aware or in alignment with the past, present, and current future shit. I would just say the past, present, and future notion of your reality. Prosperous awakening, divine rising, successful afternoon. I was put onto this video by, you know who you are, somebody in this group chat put me onto this video. Shout out to you, by the way. And thank you for requesting this video. And let's go and get started.
Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the
I have not watched this, so I'm going to just make my comments as I see fit.
way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress.
I don't like anything about Drake. I don't like his voice.
I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct.
Like none of he talks about. I be trying to tell these face. I don't like the way he walks. Like nothing.
We hate the bitches you fuck cause they confuse themselves with real women. Then notice
They confuse themselves with real
I
women.
don't like the way he walks. Like nothing.
we hate the bitches you fuck cause they confuse themselves with
No, the thing is too, Kendrick Lamar is also a woman talking like this. So when Kendrick was mentioning to Drake, like, because they confuse themselves with real women, meaning that the women that you fucking on are really men while you're portraying as a man yourself. So is it gay or are you just enjoying the pleasures of your inversion? So it's like you're still being mind fucked. You're still being manipulated into moving in less. And what are you promoting? What are you pushing? And what are people idolizing?
real women. Then notice I said we. It's not just me. I'm
Kendrick had to include herself. There'll be a video on you soon.
with the
Haircut. I might just let me shut up. I'll just stop right there.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
You know, there's this psychological term called the tall poppy syndrome. It's the idea that when one flower grows taller than all the others, people feel the urge to cut it down. And like the kings of the past, it was at last that a king who colonized the land of empires would see his head get cut off from the indigenous people of that land. Oh, what a sight. They put the light on the owl and he scurried in the night.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice.
I'm not going to sugarcoat anything in this video. This is both an analysis of why people grew to resent Drake and an investigation into the psychological traits his rap battles accidentally.
If you hate this actor, this little girl that was groomed to look like a boy, then you just hate yourself and what you haven't even researched. Once you do the research, how can you hate people that never existed?
Exposed, especially the battles he lost. People don't just hate Drake because of the allegations or diss tracks. They hate what the battle psychologically exposed about what he represents. For instance, during the battle with Kendrick, Kendrick framed Drake as somebody morally predatory. He told listeners to keep their young daughters away from him, called his circle certified pedophiles, and turned A minor into a Super Bowl fiasco.
Strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
But what stood out to me wasn't even the Kendrick accusations. It was Drake's psychological response to them.
Only fucking with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. I'd never look twice at no teenager. I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested. Just for clarity, I feel disgusted. I'm too respected. If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested.
That's cap. You just lied in your own raps. Mind you, there are ghostwriters who handle the lyricism for Drake to repeat. So, are you listening to what Drake said? Or are you listening to what somebody wrote for Drake so that you can look into what you thought Drake was saying the entire time? Realistically, you're just watching attached word or wordings or flows of thought being placed onto allyization or predators. So, for example, let's go and go to the PowerPoint because I didn't want to bring this up yet. So let's talk about the white glove. A glove symbolizing that Freemasons are never involved in any dirty business. The White House is warning MAGA that they are not taking responsibility. He says, be prepared for what's to come in the future. White gloves. So it's like when you do dirty work, you wear these gloves because nobody's going to be able to question. Nobody would want to question how you got your hands dirty or why you got your hands dirty. And think about all the cartoons as well that have the white glove. So if once, not if or when, but once Drake mentioned that lyric, it's like you know that you can pay money to sweep this under the rug because in order to have power, you got to do what you want by working hard. The moment you work hard, you join Freemasonry and you start climbing that ladder into the occult. You become a master mason or whatever. Now you can display your lies according to what society thinks of themselves when they're watching you. So when Drake is behind closed doors in these industries and having to groom these younger children, there's a pattern there. Why is that? Because the same shit happened to Drake. So Drake is only acting out the script that was already settled before this being was born. So mind you, these are women playing in man's skin suits. So the woman has an issue with her mind and she needs to get help. But when you're well respected, when you're famous, people don't think that you need help, but that's the whole entire psychological operation of what's being pushed. So when Drake mentioned if she was fucking young girls, she promises that she would have been arrested. Why would pedophiles arrest pedophiles? That makes no sense. Not only just that, the system needs the influence of Drake to keep people distracted.
Kendrick Lamar never even mentioned Billy Brown in any.
When you're seeing this, she was groomed and she groomed him. And somebody be like, no, Millie Bobby Brown is not a man. I see a woman. Exactly. You're taught to dissect what you thought was gender or what a gender is. That's why you still believe in social constructs because of how you feel. You can think as if this is a little girl, but that's the play upon your mind. The system is altering people in front of your face, and you do what about it? Nothing. You applaud it, you celebrate it, you support it, you sit in your house and you continue watching it, you consume it, and you make that your whole entire identity. That's exactly why she did what to Millie. Now, by us saying that these are accusations or claims or allegedly speaking, but it's like, no, these people tell you what they do, and these people know what the fuck is going on, but they took that oath too, so why would they tell? They not gonna tell you what's being done, but you can see it in their eyes, and yet they acting as if shit is all cool. But when you're getting money, would you tell about what happened? Or if you tell what happens, what happens to you?
Of his diss records, yet Drake brought her up himself. Psychologically, that's what's known as guilty leakage. When somebody rushes to deny a highly specific accusation that was never explicitly stated, they can unintentionally reveal the very association they are internally anxious about. Drake may have accidentally told the audience where his own psychological discomfort was centered before Kendrick ever explicitly did. Drake doubles down by rapping, "I'd never look twice at no teenager." But the problem is, we saw the clips.
17-year-old, by the way. And Drake was 23 at the time. We already seen this. That's it. But look, motherfucker claps. People clapped and cheered, and they still attended. Nobody walked out. If humans had some sense, this shit would be empty. But why would they leave? The audience that you see is under the psyop. They're under the illusion. They are literally hypnotized by MK Ultra. So who's in control?
It's great. He's wonderful. I love him. You know, that stays in the text message. You know, we just text each other the other day, and he was like, "I miss you so much." I was like, "I miss you more."
This brings us back to the psychology of hating Drake. Once people begin questioning somebody's character, even past interactions start getting psychologically reinterpreted through a darker lens. Psychologists call this retrospective reframing. Behavior that once seemed harmless suddenly begins looking manipulative or predatory in hindsight. This also connects to something psychologists call the Streisand effect. The harder somebody tries to over-explain or aggressively deny something, the more attention the public gives it and the more intensely it gets scrutinized.
Duality. All sellouts, all Freemasons, all grown women right here. Part of the club.
But another moment from the battle that deserves more psychological
Mocking your God, playing as a or cosplaying as a conscious rapper, doing shit to put food in people's mouths by selling her morals, and people still call this motherfucker conscious. What a joke.
attention was Drake's interpretation of Mother I Sober by Kendrick Lamar. The song itself is about inherited generational trauma, but Drake interpreted the song as Kendrick confessing to being molested as a child and then attempted to weaponize that perceived trauma against him in the battle.
That's why these pedophile raps and shit you so obsessed with, it's so excessive. They acting like it's so aggressive. Touch My Body by Mariah Carey play, you probably start reflecting. My mom came over today and I was like, mother, wait a second. This is trauma from your own confessions. This when your father leave you home alone with no protection, so neglected. That's that one record where you say you got molested. Ah, fuck me, I just made the whole connection. This about to get so depressing.
Psychologically, what made this moment disturbing to many people was not just the misunderstanding
What's crazy, Drake was literally talking about what happened to her. So it's just like what I just said earlier was just a confirmation. Shit too easy.
itself, but Drake's instinct to frame childhood sexual trauma as ammunition for humiliation. Even if Kendrick had actually been describing abuse, the response still reveals something psychologically cold about Drake's competitive framework, and it's the willingness to mock perceived victimization in order to gain dominance. And audiences picked up on that immediately. It showed people that Drake doesn't know what real pain is, and what that moment revealed to many people was what psychologists would describe as empathy deficit, a diminished ability or willingness to emotionally process another person's suffering. What followed was the collective moral disgust of most of the audience. The audience no longer sees a rapper trying to win a battle. They start seeing someone willing to override empathy in pursuit of dominance.
Boy, I'm really starting to dislike the Drake.
Hate the Drake.
And this connects back to a deeper psychological pattern throughout Drake's public persona, grandiose narcissism. Grandiose narcissism is characterized by an inflated sense of strategic brilliance and the constant need to preserve an image of dominance even during public defeat. For example, after Kendrick Lamar accused Drake of secretly having an 11-year-old daughter, Drake responded on The Heart Part 6 by claiming he intentionally fed Kendrick false information as part of some master plan. But the issue is, there was never any evidence of a mole or coordinated setup.
We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information. A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it. Master manipulator, you bid on a speculation.
This right here, admitting what this actor, this entity is continuously going to do. But of course, when you openly reveal and provide evidence of the manipulation, motherfuckers will start speculating as if you have no idea what you're talking about or you're just babbling. But yet, this is the reason for why you still will never question critically what Drake told you to think was real.
You dumb and reactive, nigga, I'm petty with dedication. Even the picture you use, the jokes and the medication, the Maybach glove and the drug he uses for less inflation.
Drake's narcissism is that he will forever yearn to be looked at as a master manipulator.
Master manipulator, you bid on a
Master Mason.
speculation.
Before the battle with Kendrick Lamar, Drake had already spent years collaborating with artists from nearly every major regional scene in the United States. Some people viewed this positively as Drake keeping hip-hop commercially dominant and globally visible. Others saw something more calculated, a process of sonic colonization. But when you zoom in closer, that pattern arguably extends beyond America and into Canada itself. Take The Weeknd, for example. Long before The Weeknd became a global superstar, his dark atmospheric sound heavily influenced Take Care. He contributed to 5 songs on the album, and many people believe that project marked the moment Drake sonically reinvented his sound.
Another confirmation. Gave you your look, wrote verses and hooks. That's why your album sounds like me featuring me. Drake has no originality and never did. That's why Drake would never just freestyle. Everything has to be written for this being to make it seem as if she can rap or she can sing. It's like that's not you. But they're feeding you a ploy on what you thought a song was supposed to sound like. That's why motherfuckers get their ears tickled and start just going blind mentally.
Drake sonically reinvented his sound. Drake constantly praised him publicly, brought him on stage, and would always shout him out on Twitter, and he always tried to integrate him into the OVO ecosystem. But when The Weeknd rejected Drake's attempt to bring him fully into OVO and instead signed independently with Republic Records, Drake's reaction became psychologically revealing. He tweeted, "You won't get away with just a thank you." Psychologically, Drake's relationship with The Weeknd reflects what's known as love bombing. Overwhelming someone with praise, opportunity, validation, and emotional investment in order to rapidly build closeness and influence. When The Weeknd rejected his offer, in Drake's mind, he was his property, and this is why I wouldn't necessarily call Drake a master manipulator, because manipulation implies control. Many of Drake's relationships reveal repeated failures to maintain control once people...
I like that. And the thing is too, I like that because in order for Drake to be a master manipulator, you have to be in control of your ways. But if your ways are handled by another manipulator that has no control of themselves, who's really in control once again? So Drake should not be able to control your mind, but you think Drake has control of what? The industry? Motherfucker has to get down on her knees or bend over, get butt broken, or sacrifice somebody, or groom or prey on a child, or sacrifice them. Like these people are not who you think they are. They're not legends. They're not the greatest of all time because these people are conditioned to make you think as if, well, shit, this artist really is who they say they are. How?
establish independence from him. What becomes revealing is not the attempt itself, but how Drake emotionally responds when influence no longer works and he faces rejection. Drake once again went through narcissistic injury, and when he sees The Weeknd in public and on camera, he partakes in narcissistic devaluation by trying to make The Weeknd feel smaller.
Yo, where's Willow? Yo, your heart didn't drop when Ye was like, yo, stop the music. I was like,
Corny. That's some lame shit. This is the same type of lame that Drake ended up doing when it came to the porn star Cherokee D. Drake, I guess in a recent song on a new album, which is still old, but Drake ended up name dropping Cherokee D or whatever. And the thing is, it's like, why are you kissing and telling? It's like, okay, you slept with your favorite porn star. It's just like, nobody cares. You're still addicted to porn and you're almost 40, almost 50 years old. You just will never grow up. But take care though.
I was like, the beginning of this piece, I was like, I thought he was gonna go, and I came here tonight to kill this man on his own. I thought he was about to go off. But like, it was so funny because like, I think like Virgil or like Don had their arm around me, and then when he said stop the music, I just felt the arm like leave, you know? Like, it was like, it was like,
I launched with him earlier, and he was like, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
What starts to emerge when you see how Drake operates is this broader psychological perception of how Drake handles relationships. When you look at his fallout with The Weeknd, many people interpret moments like this through the framework of cultural boring and stylistic absorption, even from your home turf. For listeners who are critical of Drake, a key psychological factor is what's known as authenticity heuristic, the mental shortcut people use to judge whether an artist feels real. And one of the central tensions around Drake is that, in the eyes of some audiences, this authenticity heuristic gets repeatedly violated. Over time, it produces a form of moralized dislike where criticism goes beyond taste and becomes a judgment about artistic integrity and identity. It's not even the issue of ghostwriting that creates resistance to a full Drake project. It's the broader perception that Drake doesn't simply collaborate with different regional sounds, he absorbs the entire aesthetic systems, linguistic patterns, and song.
Basically, meaning Drake is an energy harvester. I mean, everything we're saying, this person is just articulating in a different format. It's still the same exact message. This motherfucker Drake is not original. So you're following a follower. So what does that make your supporter? Or no, what does that make you? You are supporting somebody who knows that they're lying to themselves about their music career.
Identities and recontextualizes them into a consistently delivered product. And he does it really good, but there's this identity-based moral discomfort about it because he sells more than the people coming from the cultures that he's dipping in. Depending on perspective, that can be heard either as cultural fluency or as cultural extraction. What stood out to me in the battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake wasn't who won or lost. It was the psychological reaction of the audience watching a cultural giant be publicly dismantled in real time. It revealed something deeper about his psychological structure under pressure. Drake's battle with Pusha T was a controlled escalation built on subliminals in the beginning.
The bigger question is how the Russians did it. It was written like Nas, but it came from Clinton.
But it was Drake who ultimately escalated the conflict into a full confrontation, targeting Pusha T's wife after the warning shot on Pusha T's infrared.
I'm in shock. The nerve, the audacity. I told you keep playing with my name and I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams.
At that moment, Drake was operating from a place of perceived invincibility, a psychological state closely tied to grandiosity where status and success distort the perception of consequence. He had won a previous battle with Meek Mill, and that survival may have reinforced the belief that he was untouchable and can go at someone's family. But in rap warfare, certain boundaries are non-negotiable, and once family is introduced into the equation, the gloves are no longer on. And what followed was the surgical dissection of Aubrey Drake Graham.
You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol.
What stood out in Pusha T's story of Adidon was not just the content of the diss, but the psychological precision of its execution. It did what Drake often has been accused of doing himself, mastering narrative control as a form of power. Pusha became what Drake always wanted to be, a master manipulator. Pusha T publicly revealed Drake's child before any official announcement.
This is not Drake's child, by the way. I want you all to know that like they can give these actors, these celebrities, a child that you think is theirs. Like you think as if you went through the birth with them, you can check the records. It's like many of you think these things to be true, but you are not with them 24/7 to know what is really happening to themselves and to the child and to you as well. It's like you're watching a reality TV show, and it's like as you're going through the progression of the show, you're watching just the transcendence of the characters in the show. You see how one family may have, just them dating or whatever. Then 10 episodes later, you got a little child or a dog, they got a new house. And then 2 seasons from now, you got just other families joining in. It's just like the story keeps going, keeps developing, it keeps growing. But the thing is, though, do you ever take time to sit back, pause what you're watching, and say, am I really watching what's being displayed on the screen? Because remember, you're looking into somebody's life through a screen, but 24/7, are you around what they're doing? No, they only show you what they want you to know.
Stripping away Drake's ability to frame the story on his own terms and breaking what is often described as his hyper-controlled.
I mean, and also this positioning to the finger. It's simply just smoke and mirrors for your retina. So when people throw that shit up, it's like do that towards a camera lens. And what do you get? It's like you don't see this part, but you don't realize that you're just seeing your cells be manipulated by your chemical reaction. So you're selling your morals daily by existing in this life. Why not just go to the next one? Oh, you can't go to the next one till you figure this shit out. That's exactly why when you see a child throwing this up, they've been they have been conditioned to be a part of Freemasonry.
Public narrative. At the time, Drake had reportedly intended to introduce his son through a coordinated Adidas promotion. Pusha T publicly revealed Drake's child before any official announcement, stripping away Drake's ability to frame the story on his own terms and breaking what is often described as his hyper-controlled public narrative. Instead, Pusha T forced the revelation into a public space on his own terms. He seized the authorship of Drake's personal narrative and redirected it towards humiliation and exposure. Drake would even admit to defeat at his own game.
Or obviously the part that hit me the most, which is like, wishing like that my friend that has an illness like dies. Like that shit to me is just not really wavy. Like I can say better than Drake has a baby. He won. He won off that bomb.
But from a deeper psychological reading, the significance wasn't just the revelation that Drake had a child. It was his relationship to Black identity. Both Kendrick and Pusha T used Drake's complex relationship with Blackness to question his authenticity.
Confused, always felt you weren't black enough. Afraid to grow it because your fro wouldn't nap enough. How many more black features till you finally feel that you're black enough?
Before moving to the predominantly Jewish neighborhood of Forest Hill, Drake grew up in Weston, which was a rougher area. As he described it, he existed in a kind of cultural in-betweenness, never black enough for some, never white enough for others.
It was, I just always felt like an outsider. I went, when I was in Forest Hill, it was an all Jewish school, and just being biracial, but still being Jewish, so I was kind of connected to the kids, but sort of distant. And when kids are young, they don't necessarily comprehend everything, right. So it can get a little cruel. As cruel, on the other hand, by making you feel excluded. Or making you feel like you can't get in on this. And sometimes I do feel like if, sometimes I don't feel celebrated when I know maybe somebody else would be celebrated for those accomplishments. I don't feel like people say when Drake is the artist of the decade, I don't think anybody says, wow, a black artist is the artist of the decade. I don't think anybody says that, really. I never heard anybody say that in the last few weeks.
Why can't you just accept who you are? It's like, why do motherfuckers want to become validated so bad with a color? Like, why do you care about being the greatest black artist of the decade? Nobody gives a fuck. Black is not a color. Like, it's a lack of light. And not only just that, you are absorbing all the light of other people who are putting themselves on, and you still can't find yourself. It's like, how are you stealing energy from others and you still are lost in your way? To where you got to sit up here and ponder on what you still lie about.
And I associate I associate myself as a black man. So for me, it's something that I just acknowledge and I just keep it moving.
Every time a motherfucker says, I associate myself as a black man, you're literally saying, I associate myself as the void. I associate myself as a mental construct that has no color. And yet motherfuckers sit up here and say, I identify as black, white, yellow, Middle Eastern, or whatever. It's like, how can you identify with a color that never said what color it is? It's like motherfuckers will sit up here and tell themselves, like, yeah, I am this ethnicity. I'm a part of this heritage. I'm within this culture. It's just like you are watching that dynamic just coordinate itself in multiplying forms of how you feel you're supposed to, mm, how you feel you're supposed to be loving on the intuition that you thought was supposed to be inherited according to your internal belief.
But like I said, I feel like if the situation was different, I feel like maybe some of the massive accomplishments and accolades that we've.
The truth is, Drake would always yearn to be accepted by different groups, which is not wrong at face value, but when you look at his battles, it exposed Drake would become calculated in how he appropriates various cultures for the end result of profit maximization. When an outsider enters a cultural space and eventually becomes its most commercially dominant global figure, it can create a psychological tension among those indigenous to that culture.
When you see people with a lot of these awards or accolades, just know they're still broke on the inside. So this means nothing. When they go home and they put these things down, all they can do is stare at what they're watching. The mindless zombie think is important. And people will find this importance is like, oh, I need to measure up to that. That determines my worth. I can be valuable if I get a Grammy or if I get an award from these different Billboard music award shows or whatever else. It's just like when you go to that crib in your mansion, you still got to sit with the fact that you sold your morality just to have gold on your dresser or your nightstand or just whatever else. Take that away. Who are you? You're nobody.
So when Drake incorporates Houston influences, Atlanta slang, UK drill elements, Caribbean
Oh,
patois,
whoa,
and
whoa, whoa. We're moving too fast. What's going on with the symbolism?
to that culture. So when Drake incorporates Houston
Show your allegiance. Yup.
influences, Atlanta slang, UK drill
Yup. Puppets.
elements, Caribbean patois, and traces of Lil Wayne's Louisiana delivery, it
Of course, puppets. I can't wait to do a video on you, man. I can't believe I grew up listening to both of you. And this video is for my inner child as well, because it's crazy how when you grow wiser and you see through the occultic deception, you don't even feel any kind of way that you're letting go of this attachment because these people don't do anything but just appreciate how much of a puppet they will always have to remain.
Produces this complicated reaction in the audience. The indigenous people to that culture subconsciously ask questions like, did this person suffer enough? Is this real? Do I really know him, or is this all an act? Drake represented not only this Canadian actor entering Black American music, but this Canadian dominating the culture on the charts for almost 2 decades. So not only participating in the culture or collaborating with the culture, but he was outperforming everybody in America too. But is Drake the tallest poppy, or is he the tallest weed consuming the nutrients of the land that he's not from? However, Drake does have deep Black musical roots. His father being from Memphis exposed him to Southern Black music traditions early on, and his uncle Larry does have deep Black musical
That's her mom looking like her dad.
roots. His father being from Memphis exposed him to Southern Black music traditions early on, and his uncle Larry Graham had deep musical roots too. We even got footage of Drake spitting bars as a youngster.
Yo, boss ain't building gates. Those who break, they break. When you hit their 400-pound weight.
But
Rehearse, constantly practicing. That's the ritual.
Logically, when somebody grows up feeling emotionally unclaimed by every group around them, they often become hyper adaptive. They learn to mirror environments in order to survive socially, and I think that's Drake. Another reason people feel a psychological distance from Drake is his perceived identity ambiguity. In much of his music, listeners struggle to form a stable sense of who he actually is outside of moments of conflict. This creates a kind of cognitive dissonance in the audience. At times, he presents himself as emotionally vulnerable. Other moments, he adopts a tougher, more hardened persona, drawing from Toronto's underworld imagery. This results in a shifting identity that doesn't always resolve into a single coherent psychological image, leaving some listeners unsure whether they're hearing authentic self-expression or adaptive performance. In psychology, people are naturally drawn to individuals with high self-concept consistency, a stable, coherent sense of identity over time, like Kendrick Lamar. Through his music, he presents a clearly traceable psychological arc, a good kid in a mad city. He went from depicting gang life in LA to actively working on his daddy issues and putting it all in his music.
Daddy issues made me learn losses. I don't take those well. Mama said that boy is exhausted. He said go fuck yourself.
Drake now finds himself in a psychological position similar to what 50 Cent experienced around 2009 when he dropped his album Before I Self-Destruct. We watched 50 rise like a cultural hurricane, but over time, that same intensity led to saturation fatigue. Both Drake and 50 reference self-destruction, knowing that the audience is drawn to greatness, but they are also psychologically fascinated by collapse.
Saw a side of myself that I just never knew. I probably self-destruct if I ever lose.
Psychologists refer to this emotional reaction as Schadenfreude, the subconscious pleasure people experience watching a powerful figure fall from grace. The Before I Self-Destruct idea is psychologically important because it reflects this kind of retaliatory narcissism, the mind state that if a person feels their image or legacy is collapsing, they would rather burn everything down around them than lose control quietly. That's why you see Drake make lawsuits out of a diss record, and if there's one final thing that the battle's exposed, it's Drake's relationship with his primary fan base, women. Psychologically, Drake frames the opposite sex less as fully realized partners and more as emotional extensions of his ego. Drake, like many sociopaths, has superficial charm, which on the surface comes across as emotionally intelligent and vulnerable, but beneath it is pure manipulation. One of the most revealing relationships for Drake was his dynamic with Rihanna, which many interpret as exposing his psychological response to rejection. He has openly suggested that Fireworks from his album Thank Me Later was inspired by Rihanna, and in the song he expresses his frustration at being the nice guy while still not being chosen by her.
I'm just such a gentleman. You should give it up for me. Look at how I'm placing all my napkins and my cutlery.
Over time, Drake's emotional framing of Rihanna changes. Drake begins referencing Rihanna indirectly in the form of music.
Why they make it sound like I'm still hung up on you? That could never be. Yeah, auntie, cause I had it with you. Yeah, and the sex was average with you.
Once again, Drake goes through narcissistic injury and once again partakes in defensive devaluation like he did with The Weeknd. Instead of sounding emotionally detached, the constant need to say, I'm not hung up on you, better him than me, the sex was average, I had better woman. But the most psychologically revealing thing about Drake's relationship with a woman may be his response in moments when he knows something is morally wrong, yet instead of correcting the behavior, he appears to psychologically rationalize and continue it anyway. Case in point, when Drake kissed the 17-year-old girl on stage, Drake verbally acknowledges the girl's age, meaning there's a conscious awareness of a boundary being crossed, but instead of disengaging from the interaction, he follows through with kissing her. In psychology, this is connected to a concept called a moral disengagement, where a person temporarily separates their actions from their own moral standards in order to avoid accountability. After the Kendrick battle, most people expect vulnerability, reflection, or reinvention, but Drake's response seems to move in the opposite direction. He reframes himself as emotionally unreachable, cold, isolated. The Iceman. Oh, and speaking of Iceman, all throughout his new releases, he's adopted a me-verse world attitude, throwing shots at everyone from rappers to ball players.
The Muggsy Bogues done for once, even I'm a bit amazed. Please stop asking about what's going on with 23andMe. I'm a real and he's not. It's in my DNA. I shouldn't even be shocked to see you in that arena because you always made your career off of switching teams up. If Drake took out the AK, maybe he'd be in jail. Is it the fair skin or the Jewish roots why people want to not see me on top of the mountain like I do the dude?
I don't hate Drake. I'm indifferent to him because he never stood for anything. To me, what Iceman represents is the death of Drake. Not healed, not reflective, just emotionally refrigerated and deeply irritated.
Niggas out here reading AI scripts. Come on, man.
As always, I go by the name of Nugs. We go by the name of the Shifters. And this is that dope shift.
Yeah, I gotta unlike. As soon as I heard that, this is how you can tell this is AI.
Drake took out the AK, maybe he be in jail. Is it the fair skin or the Jewish roots? Why people wanna not see me on top of the mountain like I do the dude?
I don't hate Drake. I'm indifferent to him because he never stood for anything. To me, what Iceman represents is the death of Drake. Not healed, not reflective, just emotionally refrigerated and deeply irritated. As always,
Wow, I can't believe I like 24 minutes of my life just to sit up here and I'm thinking like, okay, you really saying something. Comes to find out, you just talking from what AI told you to say. Either way it goes, I mean, thank you for that video. All right, let's get into it. 'Cause I was just like, I just can see something was off. All right, I'm gonna make sure everything is good. Just gonna get this video started. I know I look crazy and shit, my bad, but it's 1:10. I ain't trying to do this all night, so here we go. Drake doesn't exist, but the actor known as Drake will make you believe in what Freemasons do to you constantly by your reflection. All right. Now let me get out this. All right, so I'm going to tell you why I put, did I had a, oh, I didn't do the Gematria. It's all good because I know where it's at. All right, so if you see why Drake is always with or around 21, making songs with 21, shout out to you as well. Also, the reason he always has a 21 Savage feature. So, Gematria Drake, 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 21. That's exactly why when you're listening to those songs of them together, it's for a reason. They were put into position to rap alongside one another because they're pushing the exact same agenda. Drake is a perfect example of how people believe anything. Oh, shit. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, shorty. Talk to me. Talk to me. All right, my bad. It's rap for retards. He's phony with ghostwriters. He's a plant. He's not real. Created by Jews as a business. He's been an actor his whole life. Goy slop trash. And I mean, if you look at it, this is literally who you all idolize. It's like before she even had her breaking point in music, she was on Degrassi. Shout out to you, Skull and Gate. I can change this too. Yeah, let me. All right, this is gonna have to do. And as we can see today, we have, oh God, because y'all can't really see that shit. All right, shout out to you, Skull and Gate, as well for, oh man, yeah, shout out to you, Skull and Gate, for doing this request. But as we can see, we have Drake, biological female, and if somebody was to ask, well, how is that possible? Like, how are you able to tell? And yeah, don't mind that. I had clothes being made and shit. Okay, so this is how you're able to tell and do the skull and gate, but this is gematria, and we're adding up the letters within the value of the language that people are programmed to think in, and this is just simply English. Now, many people speak different languages, but the ones who interpret English, this is how numbers are able to add up from A equaling 1, B equaling 2, equals 3, so on and so forth. And so we got this right here, and then we got that. So we're going to get into all that later. But excuse me, the gait as well. Look at it, the head shape, the eye placement, the eyebrows, the nose, the philtrum, the ears. All this shit is the reason for why people will deny the evidence that's in front of their face, the gait as well. So look at the open positioning. That's how you're able to tell like this is a woman. Look at the hip movement, the hip swing. Look at all that. There's nothing in between. So you're simply just watching what was genetically engineered. And I say that because too, look at this picture. Now you're gonna ask yourself, why are there mutilated or hybrid babies in jars? What is that for? Why y'all taking pictures? And somebody will say that's AI. If anybody claims that this shit is AI or anything I'm saying is AI, you are now admitting that the world we live in is ran by AI. So how do you want to play this game? And to prove that Drake is a Freemason, we have the occult symbolism, the Eye of Horus, 666, and then Dome. I ain't gonna say that. But these are all the hand signs or the hand mudras. So secret societies, Freemason signs, and then you got this right here, and even with the owl. So think about Bohemian Grove and the owl symbolism and how these beings find inner exploration by getting a thrill of trafficking and sacrificing and consuming the blood of a child. Covering the eye, eye of providence. I don't know what him sign that is, but just putting a frame over your lens. Same exact shit, whatever that is. Same exact shit. Always one eye, one eye, one eye. I mean, now we got the wheats and the tares. Wheats and the tares mean that for one, if you are authentic, if you are transparent, if you are loving, if you are real with yourself, you will exist over here. Why is that? Because you know that this over here is a facade. This is exactly what the media and society and the institutions that are private, this is what they push. They push a narrative and they push a false sense of life onto you to make you think as if this shit really matters. But these are lab-grown experiments that are showing you what you cannot hold on to. And it will keep you bound to duality. So let's talk about duality or balance. So by this being balanced, this is an understanding that elements are deceiving you as far as ethereal energy, because the air that we are existing with is toxic. It is chaotic. Excuse me. It is chaotic. It is poisonous. Because of that, many men that you see are really just female or woman transpiring or playing as a man who are showing you just presentations of toys. It's like grown-ups get older and they start playing with toys and they call it cars, houses, money, gold, watches, shoes, girls. It's like they condition you to think as if this lifestyle is not it. But when you see this lifestyle, they'll make you think as if like, damn, I can become somebody if I get all of this. You get all of that, what do you still have? Nothing, because you don't know yourself. So you did it, you made it in life, but yet you still feel empty because why? They took something from you that you'll no longer get back. And they have a documented video of you admitting and giving consent to it. So who has control once again? All right, so Michael Jackson, Mario, don't forget, why are they wearing the glove? Why are Masons wearing the glove? Why? Why? We already read about that. So once again, when you see people doing this, all the crimes that Drake committed, she can't be arrested for because why? When you got this shit on, they understand like, you know what? There is no dirty business or funny business with you because we see that you're one of us. We see that you have this glove on because you're revealing the protection that I guess you can say you lay with. So when a higher ranking Mason sees Drake wearing this, they'll be like, oh, you can keep doing what you're doing because at least you know the occult. The White House admitting, we're gonna get into that. Ask yourself, why is the White House posting a Drake album cover with the iconography on the cover 666 hand sign? I'll give you a hint. Crowley had a code called the OTO. Drake is signed to a record label called OVO. Surely that's not connected in any way. Rhetorical. Satanic underpinnings have been consistent in all of this administration's propaganda. MAGA being the highest degree of Satanism is another layer here. There's many more like Trump being a 9/11 president, which 9/11 was a Crowley ritual, so we are all full circle here. Literally. It's like sarcastic. I'll say not rhetorical, but sarcastic. Let me go correct myself on that. But as we can see, a signed MJ glove is just like, why? Out of all the hand signs, for example, you know that this shit is strange because if you did this and you put that to your phone, what do you still see? You now see through the lens, but you're not seeing in the space of what the lens tells you to see. So imagine this person, this entity, putting this shit like right there. It's like as you seeing through this, you don't know what's outside of this. That's why they're trapping you within your space of your mind. Back to the Future dance. Hand, look at her. This is who y'all look up to. Why? Mind you, there's nothing there. Nothing at all. Nothing but an empty shell or a bimbo. Father, devil horns, still doing the symbolism. Why? Why are you doing hand signs? Because you're basically showing that, hey, you want attention. To get attention, you have to show them that you're a part of it. You're down with the get down, and you can't forget what they gave you. So by pledging your allegiance, you constantly show them the sign that you have made or the contract you have made with yourself internally. False team bargain. Bad breed, literally a bad breed of humanity, meaning that these people are being grown in labs and are showing you what a human is not supposed to be. Bad breed, mom unruly. And the mom is the reason for why this woman is playing as a man. But it's not Illuminati. It mean what? Views from the six or he a blood, which is the game. Motherfucker don't know you program. They fuck with the kid. Kid mentality. Of course you think like that. Look what you had done for me. Okay. Begging. Y'all are dumbasses. If you don't understand, look at it. It's devilish. It's devilish for sure, for sure. I think I know a dumbass. Little boy, does your mom know you cussing shit? Shut the fuck up. Getting emotional over what? Pointless. Oh shit. I put this here because when I seen Drake and Rihanna and I used to hear, oh na na, oh what's my name? So hearing that shit constantly on the radio when I was young, I never understood why the radio would play that shit. I never understood why Drake and Rihanna collab. It all makes sense. Rihanna in a recent photo shoot with the Mace on the checkerboard floor. Why? Out of all the locations in this establishment, why right there specifically? We don't have to go deep into this shit anymore because I done made so many videos explaining the stage. Why? What are you above? And why is it that what you're still on as far as grounding, why are you still grounding in what you were groomed by? All you celebrity worshipers are under spells, right or wrong. When you see people, I had to unfollow somebody who used AI to promote what they did as far as school. Shout out to them, but I can't rock with you because you took the symbolism of a pedophile and then you use AI to make it seem as if you accomplished something. That's weird. The satanic elite are cloning themselves. I would just say they are copying their cells and then placing them into, once again, a skin suit that they can grow once again in the lab. This is all science. And then it's too, because somebody will try to educate me on science. It's like, yeah, they're funding the sciences to the masses because they want you to know about what they tell you. But you don't know 99% of sciences that are kept in secret. That's why they're a secret society. With the hope of one day transferring their consciousness into new bodies. For one, they've been doing that. They're doing it to the children right now. These satanic upper echelon perversions of astral traveling replicate their cells and then they transfer those cells of their consciousness into a new body. Mom, dad, children. Their goal is to live forever here on Earth. Yes, I agree with that because they know that the next life, they're not meant to go any higher. They will always come back to damnation. That's exactly why they're promoting it to you. Why? Because something evil is waiting for them on the other side, and they know it. That's why they're pushing immortality. I guarantee you, before you die, there's going to be a pill, there's going to be some medication that can make you feel immortal. And yet, that's going to be your death. And we already made, because we can just go ahead and go to it. So niggas will be like, no, Wimby can't be a girl. Wimby can't be a woman. It's just like, okay, I mean, you can keep on denying. You can keep on denying the claims and shit. I don't even have to even over explain. Look at this shit. Shout out to you, Skull and Gate. Shout out to you, Ian, for answering my requests and then just doing them. Thank you. French professional basketball player, biological female. Look at the gate. Why are you walking like that? There's nothing in between. Why did they meet? Groomed. Look at the lighting in these rooms. Why? Attention seeking. You need that validation. So what do? You hop on the next trend because you can't create one for yourself. This is nothing more than indoctrination towards unwilling children. Trans kids don't exist. Only groomers, predators, and shitty parents leave our kids alone. Facts. All right. The price for entering the big club is the sacrifice of their firstborn male. For those that won't sacrifice, haha, I relate to that shit. So, my mom did not want to sacrifice me. So, for those that they won't sacrifice, they can raise them male as a female or female as a male. But my mom decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna keep you biologically as your gender, as a guy. That's exactly why I won't be in their position. But the ones who go through this shit, you have no choice. Either you're going to be famous, you're going to be conditioned to think as if you are a celebrity, but that's your downfall because you're still buying into the system. You can change your ways if you're inverted, but the moment you choose to go into the inverted ways of what the system thinks will fund you and your family's life, that's how you're trapped. For those that won't sacrifice, they can raise a male as a female. Vice versa, the trans child doesn't even know it is a form of sacrifice because how can kids conceptualize that? They won't realize that today become experience and what life has shaped their mind to become. Think about every single celebrity, trans children, and suspicious deaths to start connecting the dots. Facts. They don't have children, they can pick anyone in their family. Remember when Jennifer Hudson became famous? I believe it was her mom and nephew who were killed. And thing is too, the people that sacrifice your family or the character, they won't tell you who they're killing, but somebody will end up dead close to you. And that's what hits the most. Because remember when Solomonati was talking about, I'm gonna show y'all real quick. No, I'm not gonna show y'all because I know y'all remember. I made a video on Solomonati, but remember when Solomonati was talking about her brother being sacrificed or whatever by getting hit by a car on the highway? That's what happens when you sell your morals to become a celebrity or famous online. Motherfuckers will go into Freemasonry, know what they're getting into, and still keep going. Now, when you get into a higher echelon of classes, now it's just like they tell you, okay, you want to become this figure according to people's standards, we got to take something or someone that's close to you or that you care about or that you love, and then we'll see what you're attached with. Billie Eilish, 18 tomorrow. I've been waiting. Admitting it. I don't know how real this is as far as Lil Xan being Billie Eilish, but I do realize that these people are just wearing costumes. So they're just literally ancient vampires or artificial intelligence. So when you meet these people, it's like you're looking at what the hologram shows, but the hologram is not showing you an artist, it's showing you just a puppet on the string. Like they're meant to be in your location at that exact time because that's what you're looking for. But they want you to be distracted by it. So we can see that's a dude, and his name is Billy. Shit crazy. Shout out to you, Skull and Gate, biological male European. Can't make this stuff up. Niggas will sit up here and be like, no, I don't believe that. It's like, fam, it's all of them. So, yeah, you can deny it all you want. All right, in the lower parts of hell. So mind you, these are states of your mind. And what the other side, the veil in the shadows, shows your damnation in. So treachery, your ego is imprisoned in ice from the waist down in the very center of this circle, displayed as a trophy of treachery. Let's go and do our research on that real quick for that word. Treachery. So violation of faith, loyalty, or trust for malicious or deceitful purposes. So there's a reason for why. Let's go and reread that. The deliberate violation of faith, loyalty to yourself, or trust for malicious or deceitful purposes. It encompasses acts of betrayal, cheating, and duplicity, often committed against individuals who have faith in the perpetrator. So, an example, violating the trust of someone who relied on you. So, the people who do this shit, there's a reason to why the Iceman will be bound right here, showing you where her ego will always end up. And you support that. I can see why when it's time for you to go into the next life, you'll end up right here, frozen in time. I can't wait to make a video on you. Rap musician, occult symbols, Messiah checkerboard, Ankh Sun, Osiris risen, Old Serpent, Satan, Eye of Horus, Vow of Silence, and in hand, Master the Second Veil, Mudra, Lucifer, and Light. Masonic Ladder, Azabeth, so below. I forgot. This song was Mirror on the Wall. I think that's what it is. But yeah. So as you can see, and then her kissing Birdman, it's just St. Peter's Cross and then inverting it. I mean, as above, so below, Saturnalia occultism. Once again, it's just like the eye of Horus. It's just putting on a lens. Masonic symbolism, climbing the ladder, obviously, showing her allegiance in the beginning of the video. So the ghostwriters, don't forget Quinn Miller. The moment where Drake lost me as a hip hop, I don't know who put that. Nobody gives a fuck about you being a fan. That entire project was written by this man, one of the greatest ghostwriters in the game. So that song, 10 bands. Hold on. So I want to say the wrong lyric and shit. Niggas gotta make sure I'm a human. Like, yeah, obviously. I'm about to sneeze too. Excuse me. All right. 10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands. Fuck it, man. Let's just not even discuss it, man. OMG. Niggas sleep. I ain't tripping. I'ma let them sleep. I ain't trip. Hold on, niggas not listening. Hold on. 10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands. Fuck it, man. Let's just not even discuss it, man. Why not? What did you do to get to being towards billions? Oh my, OMG, niggas sleep. I ain't tripping. I'ma let them sleep. I ain't tripping. Let them rest in peace. Nigga, killing you and watching you rest in your own peace that you made with the lie. Sick. So showing her pride in deception because we are the real Jews. Motherfuckers will sit up here and deny that because they don't know if they want to be European today or carbon tomorrow. If Amazing was a young bitch, she would be going to jail because she's fucking amazing. And somebody will be like, that's not real. If you say it's AI, either you're going to prove me right or you're going to prove yourself wrong. What is it? If this is AI, then Drake is also AI as well. That means that you are into AI content and AI musicians. That means your music taste sucks. I see why you support Drake. Not just that. Six, prayer hands. Who are you praying to? Lucifer. Why is it six though? 666 turned into a nine. Views though, right? Oh, okay. So yeah, talking about the kids I hang with are going to be parents one day. Scary. Why? In 2011, why are you typing this? Or was it you typing this? Or are you just looking for the next purchase as far as a child goes? Okay. And even if they do not do anything to the kids, you're still trafficking that kid to another predator that's in your circle. You're disgusting. Toronto kids are my favorite. Admitting. So to all the kids in Toronto that are getting trafficked, they're probably in Drake's mansion, underground. Mind you, these people, these celebrities that have these mega mansions, they have underground bunkers to underground societies. So where do you think the kidnapping or the kids or the children are being led to when it comes down to being directed in these celebrities' houses? They're going into the house, they're going to find a little staircase or whatever. They may do what they got to do to the child, it's fucked up, go underground, and then now that you're underground, nobody will ever be able to trace your existence. Not just that, the politicians are down there, your presidents, all the presidents are down there. Cops or FBI, you got the CIA. I mean, you got so many branches of just deceit that as a child, how can you bear to withstand that immense pressure of disgust? Blood diamonds, child sacrifice, victims turn into cremation diamonds. What you need to know about blood diamonds. Blood diamonds are any diamonds that penetrate or generate revenue used to fund human rights violations by any person, group, or government. Don't confuse blood diamonds with conflict diamonds, a term the diamond industry uses to describe rough diamonds that fund violence by rebel groups against legitimate governments. The Kimberley process only bans conflict diamonds. The KP does not ban blood diamonds. Jewelers claim diamonds are conflict-free even though they fund regimens guilty of gross human rights violations. How the scam works. Rough diamonds that fund rebel groups are banned, but other blood diamonds are not. Revenue Iron cut and polished diamonds fund the Israeli military, which is guilty of war crimes. Diamonds that fund war crimes are blood diamonds. Consumer unwittingly purchase cut and polished blood diamonds, believing they are conflict-free. A high percentage of diamonds are crafted in Israel and funding war crimes in Palestine. They focus on attention on rough diamonds and claims other diamonds are conflict-free. Tell customers their diamonds are chemically processed complaint and not conflict diamonds, which may be true, but they may still be blood diamonds. Diamonds that fund war and crimes against humanity aren't conflict-free. I put that because why? What's up with all the diamonds and all the sparkling and all that shit? Think about, so really, if you think about it, the White House is admitting that they're trafficking kids, genetically altering them, killing the actual self, mimicking the artificial version of this being self, and then the diamond they ended up making with a blood contract now becomes a cloth. It becomes a type of texture, or let's say a type of fabric that these people start wearing as a mockery. So it's like these people are mocking you by saying, hey, they did something to this child and now they're wearing the child. Not just that, children. And they're doing the sign in front of you and the White House says iced out. Crazy. We just lost a playoff game to a nigga with purple nails. We fucking suck bare ass. Bare ass. We don't deserve to be in the playoffs straight like that. Same motherfucker that kissed Birdman, by the way. And Lil Wayne was basically grapes at 11 and liked it. Okay. The clip making rounds online. Oh yeah, so yeah, y'all gonna have me get carried away again. I get in trouble doing shit like this. When he asks for her age, she tells him she's 17. I can't go to jail yet, man. 17. Why you look like that? You did. Look at this. And then kissed her on stage. And motherfuckers supported that shit. And the reason for why these two actors keep on getting pushed is because look at these puppets. These people constantly have debates about people that never existed. Grown ass women, by the way. Grown ass women, by the way. One thing about Drake, he showed love to the real porn legends, and I mean the porn stars that really did DVD and been top five for years. So porn stars, it's just like every day it's always lust, money, materials, jobs, hustle, stealing, grind, comparing. I mean, it's like idolizing, praying. People are doing so much externalization of what they emotionally have found a bond with, so where they can't sit with themselves and ask themselves, why am I losing control of what I'm seeing through a screen? If Drake is telling you to watch porn and watch these porn stars, they're going to do what? Promote their videos or their OnlyFans. And then what are you going to do as a child, teenager, or an adult? Go right back to your addiction. You're weak. These rappers are pushing weakness onto you, and you still think as if you had the strength to debate with somebody that's telling you what you're worshiping. That's sick. So, babies in jars showing you that once again, you are not born. You are what? These people are basically holding themselves in their inner child. And once again, this basically explains that. So let's go and go to Gematria and then we'll be done with this video. All right, let's go ahead and go with. All right. Who is Aubrey Drake Graham? So we got. Scoot over, nigga. We got four ciphers. The Jesuits control. Secret Society, like I asked y'all, who's in control? The Jesuits are. So everything Drake does is literally handled. Soul or simulation? There is no soul in the simulation, so how can you be a soulful being? How can you have soul when a soul never taught? So he made another vessel. Ancient vampires. Take the cells, splice them up, put them in a holding cell or a jar or a flask and or a vase. And then once the original body or the copy is gone, make another one. Antarctica is the gateway. Once people move past Antarctica, you'll be able to see higher resonance of energy that humans are never going to be able to comprehend. Skull and Bones, submit. You want to become a star? Submit to secret societies. Skull and Bones literally means what? They're going to break down your whole biology and then construct a perverted one. There is no Illuminati. All it is just people with a bright thought process of evil, but evil cannot be good or bad because it lives as you. Ancient reptilian brains, brainstem, basal ganglia. Humans are all reptilian. So when motherfuckers talk about Kendrick and Drake and having this war or whatever, this dispute, it's nothing but ancient lineages still going to war with words. And really, they're on the same exact team, and they're both sellouts. Jesuit order train me. Prime and simple. MK Monarch mind control. We already explained that. It's like basically we might as well just go ahead and just skim right through this shit. Freemasons are morons. Countering the Masonic. Stop believing the lies. Illuminati puppets. It's like these right here are self-explanatory. I only gotta cover that. If you want me to though, ask questions. I don't mind. But nonetheless, I mean, it's self-explanatory at this point. Stop believing the lies. Illuminati puppets. Tricked by the Jesuits. Strong Illusion USA. The Skull and Bones Codex. Spirit of Blood Sacrifice. I am the special agent in charge. Those who pose as gods. Hate requires nothing. Initiated in the pyramid. The frequency of music. How did Gematria know that shit in ciphers? Or in the Sumerian knowing of what they were constantly teaching themselves without words? 233-1398-466-233. Let's go into the next one real quick. Same exact shit. How to recognize a clone. How do you? Recognizing a clone is recognizing yourself. The witchcraft of language. When you understand your language, how is it handled? How is it orchestrated? How is it given? How is it being said? How is it being heard? Androgynous creator. Multi-track records or recorders. How? How did numbers know that? Killed by the Illuminati. Already explained that previously. Return to slavery. So those three albums, yeah, go back to being a slave. You thought you was free? No. Put them albums out right now. These people are becoming too aware online. Distract them. Engineered by the Bonesmen. The people that made Drake look like a man, yeah, you're engineered by them. So Drake can't say shit on this. And the thing is too, if Drake was to see it, what you gonna say? I'm wrong? Prove me wrong. Satanic silicone humanoid. Skin suit. American blacks become slaves. Right or wrong? Universe is inverse, meaning that the inversion of how you see the universe is basically how you can't see yourself because you cannot see the universe as what it is according to what science gave you. Sacrifice on altar, Lamb of God. When you get put on that altar, it's nothing but war. And when you put a child on there, adult on there, who do you think you're becoming? Conceal the true identity. Why? What are you hiding from? Jesuits are not Jews. They're literally just shadow figures. Breaking the simulation. This whole entire video was just on a higher, like to me, this is the greatest video of all time because why? It's just it's simplicity. We don't even have to over explain this shit anymore like I used to do, just so that I can learn just the research that I've been doing. Breaking the simulation. When you break through the simulation, how do you do it? You read the code, read the codex. Okay, inversion worship, right or wrong? Okay. Dead rappers and celebrities. So you're listening to a past voice note of what Drake never said. It's an AI manufacturing of a voice over male genital mutilation. Jesus is Lucifer, or Jesus is a Luciferian. Using language as a weapon. Mary Magdalene in the flesh. So a hybrid. A human cloning agenda message. Satan is a title, not a name. Thank you. Totally lift the veil. Jesuits write laws. So what are the laws telling you to follow? And if our government thinks as if they're above the law, why do you still follow it? Aubrey Dre Graham, 159-954-318-159. Human enhancement, right or wrong? Right or wrong? Satanic sacrifices, right or wrong? Puppet show. Worship God, benefit from chaos, soulless clone, program clone, clowns in America, hermaphrodites, Kodak Black bloodline, John Cena secrets. When John Cena says you can't see me, yeah, that's Masonic. Excuse me for even doing that hand symbolism, but inner child, like seeing this shit, bro, it makes sense of why people will act like they can't see John Cena. It's like, no, these motherfuckers literally do not exist. They're all acting. Designer wives, demon worship, and demons don't exist either. Lots of money, right or wrong. Vatican secrets. This ain't a secret no more. We're going to expose that. Forever cursed. Missing people. We already explained that. Illusionists. Didn't explain that. Royal bloodline. So when you see them, you got to ask yourself, who is your family connected to and who are your forefathers? Like, literally go into her history on how this happened. Demonic fascists. Let me see. Let me look that up real quick. So, accusing them of holding extreme right-wing, authoritarian, or dictatorial views. The suppression of opposition, extreme nationalism, and state control over the economy and society. So, all political ideologies. So, self-explanatory. Scriptology, right or wrong. It's literally nothing but a play or a stage act. They're all theatrical Muppets that don't see that somebody has a hand in their ass. I am paid, I am paid, I am paid. Time to wake up. Bilderberg Group, Secret Society. And lastly, same exact thing, 159-954-318-159. Child cannibalists. What do you got to do to get these awards to remain the top artist of the decade or century? I sacrifice children. Oh yeah, we know. We know. You only got it. And the thing is, so somebody be like, well, how come Drake was never arrested? Did you not hear the previous lecturing I had in the earlier point of this video? Pathological liar, discern the truth, shattered minds, satanic tranny, no exceptions. Fuck these people. Spying on us, for sure. As this camera is on, as this phone is on, they are literally listening and watching. What are they going to do? Spiritual soul, how did you end up here? How did you end up in this script? Oh, okay. The Wiccan goddess. Magic, you're not God, literally. Hex on Saturn, Saturn alien occultism, astral vision. When you astral project, lucid dream, have a near-death experience, an inner awakening or spiritual awakening, everything I'm saying literally goes beyond or over 99% of people's head. We are all avatars. Total sissy, hive intelligence. What did people do when Drake's album came out recently? Posted it. Their favorite song. They posted their favorite song. They posted memories and all that. It's just like your program. Undersea warfare. We are underwater thinking as if we can breathe air. Number lyrics. She's not average. Hermaphrodite DNA. Female torture. Advocates of evil. I'm here to be a star. Divide, divide, divide. Overall, I do appreciate you all tuning into this video and thank you for taking the time out of your night, out of your day to just sit here and just really just go through all the things that you may have told your younger self. These people do not care about you. They only care that you are putting money into their account. The moment you stop supporting them, the moment you stop showing up for them, the moment that you stop reposting and sharing and engaging with them, they cease to exist. They keep doing these things because you're feeding into it, you're buying into it, you're supporting it, you applaud it, and then you DM them like they're real people. These people are showing you what the system is wearing. The system is basically wearing their perverted ways as an actor or a musician, and you still think as if these people are real? It's like our government doesn't even have to sit up here and show themselves. They can be any form they want, and you would still fall for the psyop. Have a great and prosperous and successful and transcending day, afternoon, and night to any being watching this mindful observation of what never was recorded. I love you all. I'm gone.